A lady's touch. Late one night, lady's ears perked up and her eyes flew open with a start. The baby was crying. Lady had grown to love the new baby in the house. Lady had grown and she was very protective for him. If he was crying, she was going to find out why. She climbed into her basket, pushing out the swinging door with the noise, and tiptoed up the front stairs. Meanwhile, Jim Dear and Darling were trying to calm the baby. "Oh, Jim, I was just I just don't know what's the matter with him," said Darling. She was holding the baby in her arms, trying to rock him and soothe him, but his little face was deep red and covered with tears. Jim Dear sat groggily at the edge of the bed and looked at his wife helplessly. "Well, we know he isn't hungry," said Jim Dear, "since we've just given him a bottle." He managed his temples as though they hurt, as thought they hurt. He noticed Lady, who had walked tentatively into the bedroom. "Hello, Lady," he said to her. Lady looked at a few steps closer to the cradle, I mean, where Darling was laying on the bed. His little fists were close tight, and his streaks had turned to loud sobs. We just don't know what's the matter with the little guy," Jim Dear said wearily to Lady. We fed him changed him, and I've sung him every lullaby I know. Maybe you can figure out what's bothering him." That was all the invitation lady needed. She jumped up onto the bed and purred into the cradle. The baby's eyes were squeezed shut, and his cheeks were wet and with tears. His legs were kicking the covers. Lady reached in and tugged at the covers to smooth them out. The baby opened his eyes and looked at Lady. His cries dropped to a whimper, and he reached out to her. His tiny hand grabbed hold of her ear and tugged. Lady winced, but held still. With her chin, she began to rock the cradle, and with her furry tail, she bet the rhythmic thump on the bed cover. "Gah," said the baby as he broke into the gummy smile. His big blue eyes looked like wet forget-me-nots. Still holding Lady's ears, the baby giggled. "Oh, look, Jim Dear," cried Darling delightedly. Lady had got him to stop crying. "I just don't know what we'd do without you, Lady," Jim Dear said gratefully. Rock, rock, rock went the candle, Thump, thump, thump went Lady's tail. Soon the baby's eyelids grew heavy, and then his eyes closed, tears still streaking his little round cheeks. He relaxed his grip on Lady's ears, smiled, and fell asleep.